I used to think that the path to success was to work really hard. And yeah, there's something to be said about reaching goals and hitting milestones and wanting to advance yourself. And for someone like me, I'm an overachiever and I really pushed myself and I was equally very hard on myself. Now, I did that for many, many years because that's all I knew. That's all I was taught. And eventually, it was just going against this natural rhythm of, especially as women, who we are and how we're designed. And for me, I eventually ran myself into severe burnout with stage 4 adrenal fatigue. And not to say that this is what happens to everyone, but after going so hard for so long in such an unnatural way, it eventually catches up with us. And as women, why I'm bringing this up, our hormone cycle is very, very different from a man's hormone cycle. And the way that life is constructed in this hustle mentality and this production mentality is very much cycled around a man's cycle. They do have cycles as well, monthly cycles, but it's very different from women. And we have very specific times of the month where we should be more energized and more productive and really putting a lot of output out there versus times where we should be taking a step back and honor our bodies, nurture our bodies, and essentially heal and bring in a more reflective state. So our whole existence is built upon a very masculine way of being and producing in society. But as women, it's learning to take a step back, honoring our body's natural rhythm and finding a space that honors this, our own feminine flow, um, in a way that nurtures us and allows us to be far more productive. So sometimes less is more because we can come from a place of spaciousness and ease and flow versus trying to push, push, push all the time, just going against our nature. So this is really important to think about. And if this is resonating with you, know that you're not alone. And it's important in business to be aware of this because in a society that just encourages so much productivity and pushing, 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 it's unnatural and it's actually very unhealthy. And there's a different way of doing business. And it's one that I'm so, so freaking grateful that came into my life because it turned my life upside down. I came from a place of a severe health crisis where I was not even able to work anymore, for temporary, of course, but I just was healing and I didn't have the capacity. And I found this business that has an entirely different approach. And it is one that leads from our heart and our spaciousness and this allowance to honor our cycles and be in feminine flow because it's about creating and honoring our personal brand, whatever that looks like to us. So it's a very interesting and different approach than everything else that's taught out there. And it's so crazy to me. This is not taught to us at all. It's not honored at all. And of course, women operate different than men. Of course. It's like once I found this out, it was a no-brainer. Like, oh, duh. That's why it just felt so unnatural. All like so many times during the month, I was just literally trying to produce on a day where I was not supposed to be. So this is definitely a rabbit hole, and I invite you to look into this a little bit more because this can possibly answer some questions you might have about yourself and what would be best to serve you. So in our business, like I said, we lead from a different space. It is about honoring our feminine flow. And gone are the days of the hustle and strain. There is a new way of doing business where we actually are working smarter and not harder. And our business, it's very unique where we don't have monthly quotas. So we don't have that scramble at the end of the month trying to get all the like sales, and we don't have any sales quotas whatsoever. And we don't run the risk of being deranked, like losing our place. We can never, ever go backwards. We can only go forward, which is huge in comparison to other businesses out there that are structured like that, where you have to meet quotas, where if you don't meet that quota, you're deranked and you lose everything and you reset back to zero. So that's not a component in our business, which is huge. And that allows us to lead from the space of really honoring what we're feeling that day without this added strain. It's really about cultivating more ease and more spaciousness in order to serve at our highest capacity. And in turn, by us being in our authentic higher selves, because we're in a place of nourishment and our nervous systems are taken care of, that is where we can create. And that is when we call in more abundance. It is truly magical when we're in that flow. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about when you just feel right and in alignment and everything is just working and flowing and coming to you and everything just, it's almost like the world is being constructed in your favor, right? Like everything just keeps working out because you're in that place, you're in that space, and your vibration is much higher than when you're at a different place of struggle and strain, and like your nervous system is like, yeah, like you're creating from that place. So can you imagine what you're attracting back into your life? So this is an entirely new way of doing business, a different approach to doing business. And I would love to share more about this. In fact, we have a 2-day event that I would like to personally invite you to. It's next week. It's next Tuesday, next Wednesday. It's called Life by Design. And it's for freedompreneurs who desire to have more freedom and choice in their life, more time freedom, more financial freedom, health freedom, and of course, location freedom. So the 4 quadrants of what it means to be truly free in business. And it's our gift to you. It's a free event next Tuesday and Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 60 minutes to 90 minutes each day. And you'll be learning more about our stories, who we are, our backstories, what led us to the business, and where we are now, as well as sharing this incredible freedom business model that is life-changing in every single way, including just waking up and feeling in love with life again and taking the stress off, taking that big weight that, gets so heavy over time. The weight is off because we've cultivated inner freedom. And I can't wait to share this with you because you have to really see it to understand it. And it's my deepest honor. So if you are curious, if you want to hear more about this, just drop a comment below, say, I'm in, or you can reach out to me direct, send me a message, ask me any question you want, and we'll go from there. So bye for now, and I'll see you on the other side.